181 Guidelines for Buddhist Practice, Part 1. Author unknown. Translation edited by Chinyu. I put these 181 pieces of wisdom from Buddhist into the self-improvement section of the chapter of self-improvement and self-cultivation to express gratitude to the anonymous author for his supreme merit of compiling them. The reason for suffering lies in the pursuit of the wrong things. Rather than blaming others for your suffering, it is better to acknowledge your own lack of cultivation. If you don't trouble yourself, others will never be able to trouble you. Your own inner self is the obstacle. Focus on disciplining yourself rather than trying to control others. Not forgiving others and not being lenient causes suffering for yourself. Instead of being dissatisfied with others, you should reflect on yourself. Dissatisfaction with others causes suffering to yourself. All evil deeds are illusions, do not belittle yourself. All good deeds are also illusions, do not be arrogant. Those lacking in blessings often hear gossip and complaints, those with sufficient blessings rarely hear such things. Cultivation requires constant, gradual effort. One cannot achieve enlightenment through favorable conditions alone. Always be grateful to those who bring you adversity. Accept your fate at all times because you are human. Always forgive others, no matter how bad they are or how much they have hurt you. Only by letting go can you find true happiness. Learning Buddhism is a matter of conscience, not for others to see. When you are happy, remember that this happiness is not eternal. When you are in pain, remember that this pain is also not eternal. To change others, you must first understand, subdue, and change yourself. Today's attachment will lead to tomorrow's regret. You can have love, but do not be attached to it, as separation is inevitable. Do not waste your life on things you will inevitably regret. Whenever you let go, you will be free of trouble. True asceticism is achieved when the mind is free of distinctions. The first principle of learning Buddhism is to never focus on others' faults. By focusing on others' faults, you only pollute yourself and hinder your own practice. If you notice others' mistakes and grievances every day, you should quickly repent. This is practice. Those with deep karmic obstacles spend their days focusing on others' faults and flaws. True practitioners never focus on others' mistakes and defects. Every wound is a form of maturation. It is not pitiable to be confused, it is most pitiable to be unaware of your own confusion. Arrogant people can be saved, but those who are self-deprecating cannot. Do not pity others too much, pity yourself more. How much do you understand life despite your practice? The world is inherently full of suffering, with no exceptions. When you are troubled, remind yourself that everything is an illusion. What are you troubled about? Before learning Buddhism, nothing seems right. After learning Buddhism, everything seems to fall into place. Tolerate those with differing opinions, it makes life easier. If you constantly try to change them, you will suffer. Learn to endure and accept them. Acknowledging your own greatness is the same as acknowledging your ignorance. Practice is about correcting one's erroneous perceptions. A doctor cannot cure someone who is destined to die, just as the Buddha cannot save those without karmic connection. If you cannot forgive others from the heart, you will never find peace of mind. A person who is filled with their own views and thoughts will never hear the voice of others. Destroying a person can be done with a single word, but nurturing a person requires 1,000 words. Please be gentle with your words. When advising others, if you disregard their self-esteem, even the best advice will be ineffective. Do not mix arrogance with your wisdom. Do not let your humility lack wisdom. There is no need to turn back to see who is cursing you. If a mad dog bites you, are you going to stoop down and bite it back? Envying others does not bring any benefit to yourself, nor does it diminish others' achievements. Never waste a single moment thinking about people you dislike. Many people, when leaving this world, utter the same lament, how helpless and desolate this world is. Falling in love is not a charity that can be given away casually. Emotions have no formulas, no principles, and no logic to follow. Yet, people persist and pursue it until their last breath. Speak your dissatisfaction and grievances with compassion and a gentle attitude, making it easier for others to accept. Those who create opportunities are brave. Those who wait for opportunities are foolish. Being able to speak but not act is not true wisdom. Pay more attention to how others speak and refrain from rushing to express your own views. Why fill a bottle with poison when it can hold something beneficial? Similarly, why let your mind be filled with troubles when it can be filled with positivity? What we cannot obtain always seems beautiful, but once we deeply understand it, we often find it is not as wonderful as we imagined. In this world, there is only diplomacy, not perfection. Practice requires patience, contentment with simplicity, and finding joy in solitude. Living another day is a blessing and should be cherished. When I cried for not having shoes, I realized some people do not even have feet. Paying more attention to others means less attention for self-reflection. Do you understand? Don't always keep your eyes so wide open. Let me ask you, 100 years from now, what will be yours? To understand worldly conflicts and calamities, listen to the sound of the butcher's door at midnight. Do not just complain about your own illnesses and disasters, also observe how many lives have perished under your blade. Resentment towards others is a significant loss for yourself. Everyone has life, but not everyone understands or cherishes it. For those who do not understand life, it is a form of punishment. Those who think they possess wealth are actually possessed by wealth. Attachment to emotions is the source of suffering. Letting go of attachments will bring freedom. Taking things as they are is not about being passive or complacent, but about doing what you can and accepting what you cannot control. Do not be overly certain of your own views, as this will reduce regret. When you are honest with yourself, no one in the world can deceive you. Using means that harm others to cover up your own flaws is shameful. People in the world must be accountable to the law. Practitioners must be accountable to the law of cause and effect. When you are poor, offer your physical efforts in service, such as cleaning, watering, or moving things. This is also a form of giving. A person who is full of jealousy, lacks honesty, and speaks unkindly cannot be considered a person with a proper appearance. Quietly caring for and blessing others is a form of intangible giving. Tell more jokes and approach life with humor, this will make life easier. The way to interact with others is through boundless tolerance. Do not attempt to guess others' thoughts without wisdom and experience, it often leads to mistakes. To understand a person, simply check if their starting point and destination are the same, this reveals their sincerity. The truth of life is hidden in the mundane and flavorless. Not bathing and applying perfume will not make you smell good. Reputation and honor come from genuine talent and virtue. True virtue naturally emits fragrance. Instead of rejecting established facts, it is better to accept them, this is called accepting fate. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas only bless those who are willing to help themselves. Adversity is a necessary process for growth. Those who bravely face adversity will see their lives flourish. Be grateful to those who point out your faults. Those who consider others will never feel lonely. If you can identify your own faults with the same accuracy as you see others' faults, your life will be extraordinary. Forgiving others is like creating space in your heart for reflection and growth. Time will pass, so let time carry away your troubles. If you insist on taking simple matters seriously, you will suffer. Those who constantly twist the goodwill of others are beyond redemption. People are not inherently bad, they just have habits. Everyone has habits, some deeper than others. If someone genuinely seeks the Tao, forgive them. Do not label them as bad people. Telling one lie requires concocting 10 more to cover it up. Why go through such trouble? In reality, those who love beauty are simply in love with themselves. No one is immune from slander, and no one is forever praised. When you speak too much, people will criticize you. When you speak little, people will criticize you. Even when you are silent, people will criticize you. In this world, no one escapes criticism.